This clip is brought to you by GLD, shopgld.com. I'm getting you 30% off everything they offer. They got NFL pendants, NBA pendants, everything on that website. I'm giving you 30% off. All right, go to the website, shopgld.com. Link is in the description. Use the promo code RUNIT for 30% off. Enjoy the clip. So Montrez won 6th Man of the Year in 2019. Am I right about that?
Yep, with Doc Rivers.
With Doc Rivers, and then ended up being part of the reason Doc Rivers was fired. Is that true? Am I accurate with that?
Well, the Clippers fans wanted them to play Zubac, and they weren't. Doc kept riding Harrell, and Jokic was cooking him. Jokic and Murray were cooking Harrell in the pick and roll. And supposedly the advanced analytics, the Jokic stands love those. The advanced analytics were saying like when Montrezl Harrell was on the floor in the playoffs, they were one of the worst defensive teams. And when he was off the floor, like with Zubac in there at the 5, they were one of the better playoff defenses.
Who was the starting center on that team? It wasn't Montrez, was it?
No, it was Zubac, I think.
Because those numbers, I always look at those numbers and I always think like that could possibly because when that player sits, the other team's stars are sitting. You know what I mean? So his defensive rating is going to be better because he wasn't going against Jokic the whole time or something like that. So, but if Zubac was a starter, then that's Doc Rivers doing exactly what he was doing last year, playing a backup center against their starters when when he should be able to stagger a little bit better than that and keep the matchups out on the floor.
People they were also pissed he wasn't playing Terance Mann. That was another one.
I remember that. Now Terance Mann is a good bench player, average 10 points a game. I did a whole video on Terance Mann because Terance Mann's mom wrote an article or was interviewed in an article talking about Doc Rivers, and she said Doc Rivers is the worst coach for my son, and she went in depth about how he didn't get a chance, and then Doc left, and Tyronn Lue was like, "Hey, Terance, let's get you on the floor here, man. You're actually pretty good." Doc didn't know that, so it is Doc Rivers at the end of the day.
Yeah, people forget the Clippers when they let him go. They went to the conference finals without Kawhi. Like Kawhi got hurt in that first series, and then they still went to the conference finals with Ty Lue. And they played the Suns well. They really did without Kawhi. So Doc Rivers, let's not forget about that dude. Because he's going to ruin our lives next season come playoff time.
It's definitely going to happen. No matter what I say about this team, I would bet money they're going to, if I had to predict, the Sixers this season are going to have a really good chance to compete with everybody, and a lot of things are going to come down to Doc Rivers making the wrong decisions and being the stubborn old man that he is. And, I completely talk about the team right now, and I don't even consider Doc Rivers because I think that's easier for me to do because I don't want to talk about him because, if I have to talk about him, then this is what I'm going to say. He's going to be the downfall, and then he's going to get fired. That's honestly what I would predict if I was going to predict anything. They're going to have a good chance, and it's going to be known that they should have been in the NBA Finals, and it's going to be known that it was Doc Rivers' fault, and then he's going to get fired. That's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, because it's just going to be, I just have a feeling it's just going to be the James Harden and post up Joel Embiid. Make it as obvious as you possibly can when you want to post up Joel Embiid. Let's make it super obvious so they could take it away. That's going to be the offense. And then the other part of the offense is going to be dribble, pick and roll, switch, and then stagnant offense. That's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think you have to rely on James and Joel being good enough it's obvious anyway. How do you sneak a guy like Joel Embiid onto the block?
It's just like we make it so obvious. There's no like movement. It's just like a guy staring at Joel Embiid, trying his best, just moving the ball, like George Niang just moving the ball. And Joel Embiid's posting up 3 players from the Miami Heat. How about we start with, I don't know, just do something. Like I was watching, I'm working on a video of stuff the Sixers could implement into their system, and like just things the Warriors do to get Steph Curry open or get the big man open. It's just like it's small things, but it opens up the offense, and there's just no creativity from Doc Rivers. And I know it's going to happen this year again, probably.
Chris Talisma, any chance Sam Cassell has a louder voice on the coaching staff this year? No. I mean, it's just Doc Rivers is not, he's very arrogant. You know, we haven't had basketball for a couple months, so everybody forgot. Let me remind you. Doc Rivers he does not bend. He does not change his mind. He does not go with the flow. He does not listen to anyone. It just is the way that it is. They won a championship in Boston. Danny Ainge and the staff wanted to go more analytical. Doc Rivers, they had disagreements, and they traded him. They traded Doc Rivers because Danny Ainge is a fucking gangster, dude. He doesn't care. He's like, I don't give a damn if you just won a championship. We're gonna trade your ass, and he traded him, and got a first-round pick for in return for him. So, and then he got fired from Orlando, and then Orlando, and then Boston, got traded to L.A. and got fired from L.A. I don't know, but either way, no, Doc Rivers. As long as Doc Rivers is here, he's the main voice, and nobody's changing his mind. It just is what it is. And he's at the point in his career where if he disagrees, you just have to fire him because. Well, he's not going to agree with you.
Yeah, and the sad thing is this team has so many weapons now. With Maxey, he's going to take another leap. Hopefully they don't hinder him. Hopefully they let him free and let him handle the ball more and things like that. Actually have him move off ball instead of just standing and watching. We got Tyrese Maxey, one of the fastest players on the court, and when he doesn't have the ball in his hands, he's just standing and watching. Yeah, he's not coming off. He's not coming off any screens. He shoots 40% from three, Doc. You don't want a 40% three-point shooter coming off screens. That's another thing I hope develops this season. You know how Seth Curry and Joel Embiid had a great dynamic in the dribble handoff. Same with JJ Redick. If you watch Tyrese Maxey's like workouts with Chris Johnson, he's working on off-ball movement and like coming off the dribble handoff and just firing the mid-range shot. So hopefully they implement the dribble handoff with Embiid and Maxey. Because imagine, Seth Curry and JJ, they're great at shooting, but they're no threat to take it to the rim consistently. Imagine Maxey gets that mid-range down and they develop chemistry. That dribble handoff with Embiid and Maxey, I mean, that's dangerous. And then add on James Harden, pick and roll with his playmaking ability, and then add on DeAnthony Melton. I mean, come on. There's no more excuses for Doc Rivers. If this team doesn't get past the second round, that's embarrassing. Because I think if Eastwood coached this team, or if I coached this team, we could probably get past the second round, or we're at least getting to the 7 games. We're at least getting the 7 games.
I say that all the time, and I have no shame saying that. This is not that complicated. It's a 5-man game. People get in these positions where they're the coach of a team in the best league in the world, and they get such a big ego. They think they are literally a rocket scientist, and they overcomplicate the hell out of everything. And it's a 5-on-5 game. It's pretty simple. I mean, you can run 2K and run the 5 plays that NBA teams run on a nightly basis. Like, it's not that complicated. That's why the NBA is more talent based as far as winning goes than any other sport. I think if you have the 5 best players, you basically win. But yeah, Mike Priester says Doc ain't gonna be the difference. He will have half a season to get it right, or he'll be gone by the All-Star game. If Doc Rivers gets fired by the All-Star game, I will be happy about that.